Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, and of course, this is Mature Living. We've been going on, this show has been going on continuously on air for 28 years, and the college is celebrating its 50th anniversary, so we're about halfway. Anyway, so I've got kind of getting off the track here, but we have an interesting show for you today. We have planned it. We've invited Gabriela Reed, who's an attorney with the County Attorney's Office, just to kick off our show today. And she has a lot of good information about what the County Attorney's Office does, all the good work that they do. Thank you for joining us, Gabriela.
Thank you for having me, Mary. And I want to say congratulations on the long run. I mean, EPCC is a great addition to our community here. I actually attended EPCC for a year.
Yes.
So, I have strong ties to the school, and so I'm happy to hear that you've been here for so long.
Well, we're looking for those grads,
Yes.
because you need to celebrate with us, and we need to highlight our wonderful professionals in this community. Tell me a little bit about the work that you all do with the County Attorney's Office.
Sure. So I'm a division chief with the County Attorney's Office. Our great county attorney is Joanne Bernal, of course, and we've reassessed the office and kind of broken it up into divisions. So we've got 4 major divisions. We've got Family Protective Services, which is the division I supervise. Then we've got the Criminal Division, which Laura Christofferson supervises. We have our General Counsel Division, which Christina Ford supervises. And then we have our Civil Division, which right now we don't have a division chief. We're looking for one. But all of the representation we do for the county comes under one of those divisions.
Wow.
So
and that's
it's a
interesting.
big
There's
office.
enough work for everybody.
Absolutely.
Oh, my. And it didn't used to be that way.
No, I mean, we've grown.
Yes.
As our community has grown, we have grown to meet the needs.
I understand we're hitting about 800,000
Yes.
in population these days. Tell me about what topic we wanted to highlight today.
Sure. So today we're going to talk about the mental health unit and what kind of resources there are for families. And so I think it's really important, these are trying times, and I think that our systems are not as well funded as they could be, and so people really need to know about what resources we have locally to help individuals that suffer from mental illness.
Yes.
So today I'm going to talk to you about emergency detention orders. They're commonly called EDs, an emergency detention, and what that is, and why the general public should know about it.
And when do we need to request, and where we go to request an emergency detention order?
Sure. So if someone, whether yourself or a family member, suffers from mental illness and is having a crisis, sometimes people who suffer from mental illness don't necessarily recognize that they're having an episode or needing some extra assistance.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't take their meds, or they don't want to be on their medication. And so family members are usually the ones who identify it the quickest.
Yes.
And so it's really family members who can utilize this, and they can come to the county attorney's office to apply for an emergency detention of their loved one, or they can fill something out online. It's on our website.
Okay.
It's an application process, and they would fill that out there, or they can, in the case of an emergency when our office is not open, always go to the night magistrate and apply for one there. But I'm going to talk about the ones that you can do during the business hours at our office or fill out online.
Okay. And so does it take a long time? Because sometimes when there's a crisis in the family, and an adult has to be the one that requests. I know sometimes there are children or teenagers in the family, but an adult needs to do that.
Sure. The law says that any adult can apply for an emergency detention on behalf of someone who's suffering a mental health crisis.
Okay.
And so the law comes under the Health and Safety Code. But yes, generally we only take the applications from adults, since the law says any adult.
Yes.
And what the process is, it's not super quick, but it's probably the quickest thing around at this point,
yes.
other than calling 911 for emergency intervention.
Okay.
So you would come in, filling out the
Yes.
application doesn't take that long. It's probably about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's a guided application. Plus we're there if you need assistance.
Okay. And then when do you take action?
Sure. So the way the process works is, let's say you come in, you fill out the paperwork, And it's really important when you fill out that paperwork, like you're telling a story. Like remember back in grade school, you had to say who, what, when, why, where. All of those questions need to be answered, because what's going to happen is an attorney is going to review that application and determine, is there a mental health issue, and is the individual that you're applying to get help suffering from a crisis that is related to the mental health issue, and are they in immediate danger to themselves or to others. There's also another criteria called deterioration. So we're going to be assessing to see if they're not immediately a danger to themselves or others, is there enough in the application to communicate a severe deterioration that needs assessment.
So providing specifics and details and about the incident or what's going on in that household or in that family is really important, because if you just kind of wishy-washy it, well, it's not going to. And how long does that order last?
So the purpose of the order is to pick somebody up from their location and take them to a hospital for an evaluation of their mental health. So that is a hold, a 48-hour hold. If the application is reviewed by the attorney and accepted, it's presented to the judge. If the judge also accepts it, the judge signs it, and then it's a warrant. And what that warrant does is it entitles an officer to pick the individual up from wherever they're located, take them to a hospital so that they can be evaluated by a medical professional to determine if they're in a mental health crisis.
Wow. Give me an example of maybe a success, where you've really helped the family out and the patient.
Sure. We've had family members actually write to our staff members in the mental health unit to thank them for the assistance that they gave them, because, families are desperate sometimes when they come to us, and they just want somebody to help their loved one get the help they know they need. And so the emergency detention warrant really does allow that. And it really gives us the opportunity to help those family members help their loved ones get the help that they need.
And that's the real reason why you would do this, is to protect the individual and the family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Safety.
Absolutely.
And that's so important. There's no charge for this process?
No, there's no charge at all. Our staff can guide you through the process. If you don't feel like you can write really well, you can even write the application in Spanish. We have the applications in Spanish as well as English. And if you can't write, or you're just so upset that you can't get through it, we can sit there with you and assist you.
Yes, and so in any language that you can help our community. That's just one way that the county attorney's office assists our community. And how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. If they specifically have questions about mental health issues, they can call 546-2084. That's our mental health unit. And again, they can always look online and get some information, but we're happy to answer questions.
Great. Anything else, Gabriela, that I may have missed asking about the office, about your services? Anything?
No, I can't think of anything else other than, anytime the community has a question, they can call us, and we can always try to direct them in the right place. Sometimes we don't know the answers. Sometimes we're not the right entity, but we usually have really good resources in the community and can help people find where they need to go.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We've been talking with Gabriela Reed, who is one of the county attorneys at the county attorney's office with Ms. Bernal, right? So thank you for bringing this wonderful information to us, and we'll be back with more guests. Well, thank you for staying with us. We want to continue our conversation with our guests here on Mature Living, and we're going to talk about insurance. And, I never get enough information to understand all of the different options that we all have about Medicare, about all the questions that we go to health fairs, we have questions, we get answers. But you know, I like bringing it to you on Mature Living because we've invited Melissa Zamora, and she's here with an organization called Golden Plan Choice, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about Medicare. And of course, she's the chief operating officer for that organization. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, thank you for inviting me today. This is a great opportunity for us to give us the opportunity for the community
Yes.
because
yes.
we want to teach them more about Medicare. They receive the booklet to their house about this thick.
Oh, yes, that's right. I get one too.
They even told me, well, I think I need a lawyer to read it.
Yes, that's right. So we
yes.
need to have someone like you all to help simplify some of the things that. What is Medicare? Let's just start with that basic question.
Yes, Medicare is the federal insurance, and you are contributing to it because every paycheck they deduct a percentage for your Medicare. So by the time you're going to retire, then you're gonna, once you have your credits and all your hours accumulated, you have the Medicare. But it comes with two portions, Part A and Part B.
Yes.
The Part A is the one that is granted with your credits.
Okay.
But the Part B has a premium, and that's when all these questions comes with these members. Why are they charging me if I'm already contributing for all these years?
Yes. Yes.
So the Medicare is very important because it's going to cover the hospital and the medical part. But they need to be aware that once they receive Medicare, when they are retired at the age of 65 or sometimes even at the age of 67, they want to extend it. Or also disabled people. They are getting their Medicare after 24 months of being disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the important thing is that they need to get enrolled in a prescription drug plan
Okay.
because Medicare doesn't cover the prescriptions.
And that's mandatory. Everybody's
And
got to
that's
be.
mandatory, and they don't know it, and they get penalized.
Okay.
So that's very important for them to understand that they have certain period of time to enroll in a prescription plan. It's a 7-month window that they need to use to enroll in a plan. But I'm here to help them and answer all those questions. I
Very
don't want
good.
them to feel overwhelmed because there's a lot of people expert in this. I've been working for about 10 years on this area.
Uh-huh.
So I want to make them feel comfortable when making a decision.
Yes. And it's not a one size fits all decision, is it? Because
No.
everybody's different. We've all got different
Different needs.
ailments, different needs,
Different illness,
medications,
like you say.
and there's choices. Many plans.
Yes,
Many
I know.
choices.
They get bombarded with all this mailing and
Yes.
postcards, and that's why they get overwhelmed. And sometimes they ignore it. They just throw it away and they don't take any action, and that's when they get penalized.
Okay.
Or not only penalized, they forgot to enroll in a prescription plan, and when they get sick and they really need the medicine, it's going to be hard for them to get it,
And
or
it's
it's going to be too expensive.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So, yes, it is.
Yes, so that's really important. So the age group who receives Medicare are the elders, as people retire in the appropriate age of when you were
Yes.
born, and I think that has something to do with it, especially at 65, right?
At 65, some of, like I said, people get disabled, and once they start getting their first Social Security check, starting that month, you count 24 months, and that's when you get your Medicare.
Oh, very interesting. I didn't know. You always learn something every time. And so, what are the different options available aside from those base A and B and prescription, right?
And prescription.
Yes.
And also there's some other plans available that include everything like a combo. So they have a mix of Part A, B, and your prescription. I say like, let's say like you go to a hamburger place and you get a combo number 1, combo number 2, that includes your your hamburger, your French fries, and your drinks.
Well, that's a
You
good
know?
analogy
So
to
do you want it with
understand.
cheese or you want it without cheese?
Oh, that's right.
So that's why there's different plans out there in the
Plans.
market.
Okay.
So we have to sit down with the members and explain them their benefits. That way they can make a choice.
And some plans there have a copay depending on your needs. Some don't have a copay. Some
Yes.
you
Some
know.
of them have a copayment. Some of them have a lower copayment. The ones that have no copayment is usually the ones that qualify for the assistance with the state,
Okay.
Medicaid.
Medicaid. Okay.
Medicaid. There's also another one's called Extra Help. So when we come with all this terminology, everybody gets confused. It's like, how can I get that help? What does that mean? I didn't know I qualify for that.
Or my neighbor, my comadre, gets it. Why can't I? And those kinds of
So
things.
yeah, we're gonna talk about those differences of helps, the assistance that they can get through the state or through the federal.
Yes. And so this is kind of an interview as you speak to people and assess their needs on a one-to-one. Forget about your neighbor, forget about what the other person's getting. Let's see what you
Yes,
need.
What you need.
Yes, and that's really, really important. And where can they get a hold of you if they want? Are you having any educational sessions coming up?
Yes, we're having one in April 1st at the Jose Cisneros Public Library located on Hawkins and Gazille. I think, yeah, Hawkins
Yes.
and Gazille. And that's going to be April 1st at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And it's not a sales event. I know sometimes they don't want to go to these events because they think they're going to be pushed for a sale. This is exclusively educational.
Okay.
So we're going to talk in general about Medicare and the assistance, co-payments, all the alphabet letters,
Yes.
the soup of letters. And after that, if they have more questions, of course, they can stay after that and we can give them a follow-up if needed.
So there'll be plenty of staff members there that will help people. And it's an educational session.
It's
so
educational.
time to ask questions and
yes.
clarify some things.
And you know what? Sometimes they take all the mailing that they get. Tell
They
me
bring-
which one do I throw away or which one do I keep. You know, they-
Wonderful. That's a great
Uh-huh.
idea. So
So
bring
bring-
everything, all
bring
those
everything
ARP
that-
and
all of them,
all
or
the different
even
plans.
paper from Social Security that they don't even know if
What
they
it
have to
is.
keep it or not. Or
Yes.
sometimes it's a scam. It's not even from Social Security.
Yes.
So,
very good.
yeah.
Educational sessions. We need to go to those to learn. And so we hope that you will join, of course, Vanessa Zamora and their staff with the Golden Plan Choice, who are having a educational session about Medicare and answer all your questions at the Jose Cisneros Public Library on April 1st. And I guess about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
That's when it's going to be. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Okay,
having
good
me.
luck with your session.
Thanks.
And we'll see you in a few minutes because I have another guest. Well, there's a couple of new dentists in town that I want you to know. Came from New York and then Houston, and now they're here in El Paso. And we love to have doctors come to El Paso to serve our community. And so we're going to introduce you to Dr. Bowen Lee, who is a dentist here, and he has a partner in his dental practice, Dr. Carlos Hu. And so I just want you to meet them. I want him to talk to us about possibly one of the diseases, of our mouth and how we need to keep ourselves healthy and why it's so important. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your new practice.
I just moved here last year. Really excited to be opening up in El Paso. I came from Houston. I was working there the last 5 years, and definitely El Paso has been great so far. And yeah.
And so your clientele's growing.
Oh yeah,
and we want you to be successful here because we certainly need doctors and health professionals here.
Yeah.
New dental school, whatever we need that our population can benefit from. And so, what is the title of your practice?
Caribbean Dental.
Caribbean Dental. Okay. And where are you all located?
We're on Gateway Boulevard West on the east side. We're right across from Texas Roadhouse and the Walmart Supercenter.
Okay, so you're on Gateway and Yarborough, around that area.
Yeah.
Very Gateway West. Very good. So tell me about the topic that you want to share with us. How can you educate our community about our mouth?
Oh yeah. So the number one issue I see, especially with seniors, is gum disease. The gum health is really, really important because a lot of it with age, you do lose some bone with age every year, but gum disease is the number one cause for losing teeth when you're in your 60s.
Where are some of the symptoms or the cues that you might have
Yeah.
periodontal disease or gum disease?
A lot of the signs and symptoms, it's not really noticeable, but some of it is, if you're brushing your teeth, you might have some bleeding. If you're chewing on foods, or you might feel your teeth are loose a little bit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes. And that's how you lose your teeth, because they start detaching.
Oh yeah. The bone that's holding the teeth, they start losing over time. Yeah.
I wish they had told us that when we were young,
Yeah,
younger.
Yeah,
But it's never too late to.
It's never too late, and actually, in the last couple of years, people have been taking care more of their teeth. When I went to school, they were, telling us seniors about 1 in 2 will have all their teeth missing, by that, when they're older.
Or they
But-
get partials or bridges,
Yeah,
or sometimes you.
and then I read the latest study, I think it's down to 1 in 4. So the people keeping their teeth is definitely people keeping longer. So that's good.
Well, I'm glad that you young dentists are taking care of our elderly.
Oh yeah.
And so how can we keep our gums healthy?
The number one thing is to go to your dentist every 6 months for
Every
a
6
checkup. Yeah.
Okay.
But for home, make sure you're brushing, flossing twice a day. And definitely, the number one thing is a regular checkup, because when we check the gum health, we do the charting, which we measure how much bone you have holding your teeth in. And usually people need cleanings every 6 months, but if we determine that your gum disease it's a little bit severe, we might recommend deep cleanings, and you come in every 3 months.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it depends on every situation.
Yeah. That's
what
why,
you're going to,
yeah,
how you're going to
so
treat.
Definitely.
How often they
yeah.
have to come in, and I know those little instruments, those little sharp things that measure. It's a good thing. I know.
Yeah.
Some people are very, very
Oh,
afraid to go to
yeah.
dentists. How
That's-
can we relax when do you have any wine over there?
Yeah, I wish. I mean, we want to treat everyone, with compassion and care. That's why, part of the reason we named our office Caribbean is, we want to have like relaxing, and I don't want people scared going to the dentist.
Yeah. We don't want to scare them away, because we need to be there. And it's part of our overall health.
Yeah, definitely. Because research now, it shows that if you have gum disease, you're twice as likely to have heart attacks or strokes. So everything's linked. So the bacteria that's in your gums, that's in your teeth, it can get in your bloodstreams, and it attacks your heart.
And I
So-
like, when I go to the dentist or
Yeah.
I go to a doctor, I like for them to tell me and talk to me about my condition. Explain things, and how can I, when I go home, what am I supposed to be doing? And so,
Yeah.
do you counsel your patients in that way?
Oh yeah. We definitely counsel them, because a lot of the patients, everyone's different depending on. For example, like, it's not just gum disease. A lot of people have dry mouth due to their the medications they're taking. So some
Dry
blood-
eyes, dry
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, so little things like that. If you have some blood pressure medications, some kidney medications, if you get dry mouth, your saliva actually helps protect your teeth against cavities.
Okay.
So if you have dry mouth, we have products we can recommend, like Bioteam mouthwash, that protects your gums even more, and give you.
Very good to
yeah,
know. I
so-
think I'll get some.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doctor, and so what do you expect from your patients? How should they be talking to you about what they're feeling or their fears? Or
Yeah, so if you definitely, everyone has, different expectations from their dentist.
Yes.
At your first visit, like we do ask you, what is there anything in particular, if you're afraid of needles, if there's anything like that, tell us ahead of time. We have people tell us like, hide the needle from me. I don't want to see
I don't
it.
wanna see it. I'm one of those.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it when
so
you're gonna
definitely, we do,
numb the mouth.
Yeah, if there's anything in particular, like if you have family history of, this or that, let us know. Especially health updates. Every time you come, try to remember because people's medications change.
Yes. Okay.
If you had like
A
sometimes
knee replacement, and maybe you're taking the thinners or whatever.
Yeah, like
blood clots.
Yeah, so some people have, if they had taken Coumadin or warfarin for blood thinners, sometimes I remember oh, my doctor 1 year said, don't take it, before, because, the bleeding from cleanings. But then as their medication changes, their health changes, that might not be the case anymore.
Yes.
So if you're on blood thinners, we always ask your doctor, what they recommend. So try not to change any, routines. If you're taking, medicine before the appointment, keep doing that. And once you're here, tell us, and then we will check.
Well, gosh, I'm sure that you're going to be good counselors.
No, thank you.
in helping our elders, and thank you for coming to El Paso.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
And we certainly want you to be successful here.
Oh.
And have lots of clients, because you're going to help us stay healthy. And of course, we mentioned your partner. You want to mention him again, and your phone number and your address where you're located.
Oh, yeah. So we're located 10705 Gateway Boulevard West. We're across from Texas Roadhouse, right in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza. And we switch off. It's me and my partner, Dr. Carlos Hu.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, much success, and thank you for coming on Mature Living,
Thank
so we
you.
can announce your business.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you for thinking about our elders. So important. And I guess we'll see you all next week. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary. We're looking forward to our spring break. So maybe we can go to the dentist at that time we're off. Okay. And so we'll see you all next week, okay?